1 o'clock in the afternoon on Thready Thursday. 67 degrees and still very, very hazy outside. So we're going to hope for the best on my lovely Wi-Fi. It seems to be not laggy as much as it was yesterday. Excuse me. Yesterday I was able to move the hoop. I'm going to move this just a slight bit. I bumped it while my intro was playing. I had it like right where I wanted it. I was able to move the hoop yesterday and get up into this top corner a little bit more. Change of colors, which is kind of nice because if you haven't picked up on that about me yet, I get really bored when I have to do a lot of the same color over and over. So I'm glad to be down in this part, not so much up in here still, because all up on top is still very... I guess I should move it up that way since that's actually where I'm working, huh? Hi, Sophie. How are you? It's funny on camera. That looks like a boob. So yeah, I was able to move the frame or move my hoop, which was kind of nice. But at the same time, I'm kind of feeling a little crazy right now with this project. Hold on a sec. I forgot to... oh, I hate the taste of the inhalers. Forgot to do that before I went live. It helps with the coughing. Opens up the airway a little bit. So I talked about this last week, I think, or might have been the week before, that I had these silicone bobbins for those of us that park. So rather than having your strings all just kind of willy-nilly hanging around, you might have saw last week I had it wrapped around the screw over here. It was wrapped just to kind of keep them out of the way. But these bobbins are really cool. I found them on Amazon after somebody in one of my crochet or my cross stitch groups had on Facebook had posted about them, and I was like, "What? What the heck are those? I've got to go check it out." Ordered a set of 10 from Amazon. So far, I can find 2. So, it's really kind of nice. Keep stuff out of the way. See, my camera zoomed in. I don't know how I keep doing that. It did it the other day too, and I'm like, I don't know how that happened. So yes, sis, sounds, I think, and Sophie, correct me if I'm wrong, this Friday you'll be doing a live with Johnny Mac on your channel, and then a live on his channel on Saturday, correct? Yeah, Sophie, I'm not doing too bad. I don't know how I was awake so early this morning because I didn't go to bed until really late last night. So I'm only running on a couple hours of sleep. Thought for sure I would have laid down and taken a nap by now, but it hasn't happened. So I don't know. Me and my funky ass sleep patterns. So I'll keep an eye out for the notifications, Sophie. I am subscribed to both of Johnny Mac's channels, so regardless of when he goes live, I'll get, should get the notifications. And I have notifications on for your channel as well. Oh, my goodness. Sorry, I was distracted, and usually I use my inhaler about 10 minutes before I start a live, so it has a chance for my bronchial tubes to open up, so I don't start hacking as soon as I start talking. But I got a little distracted. Exactly, Sam. Did you, while I'm doing this, do you want to come up on panel and talk about that sensory thing that we were talking about? Or do you want to just mention it in chat? So it's a little hard to see because, again, where my camera is placed, doing a little bit of craziness going here. I have all of these parked threads over here are all threaded onto a needle, so I don't have to keep switching needles. Hopefully this doesn't drive me too insane. But I figured while it's on camera, this might be a little bit quicker. Yeah, it's up to you, sis. I mean, I'll put the link in the chat, and then it's up to you. Maybe. There it goes. I'm like, what's it doing? Yeah, Sophie's, she was talking to me about a paranormal thing that she was just learning about. So that's how she was thinking about you, because she was like, hey, I wonder if Sophie's ever heard of this. Got some bushwatchers, some people in the background watching. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Taking myself into my craft room real quick.
I'm gonna turn my volume up so I can hear you.
Whee!
Woo!
I slid in my chair. Whee!
Oh, wee!
Yeah, can you hear me okay?
My 30 Thursday?
Yep, apparently. My phone doesn't recognize birds.
Yeah, I mean, it's an open chat. We can talk about anything.
True. I don't even know where to begin with that. It was very weird. There we go. I was trying to open the chat. So I don't know. I guess the easiest way to put it is to start with Minnie. She absolutely loves her dad. The second he gets home, she is all about dad. Everything is about dad. I want to play with dad. I want to sit with dad. I want to lay with dad. I want to talk to dad. I stop mattering as soon as he gets home.
Absolutely.
That night, the night that we were talking about, I ended up texting my mom at about, what would you say, 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah, something like that.
Because Minnie had come in, and for one, I damn near shat my pants. She scared the piss out of me. Because I was watching some spooky shit on YouTube, and she, in the pitch dark, she had hobbled in, scared the absolute daylight out of me. But that's not uncommon.
You were wearing your noise canceling headphones too, right?
Yeah, and that's not uncommon for her to come in. But she asked very specifically to lay with her dad. And I told her, you can lay for a couple of minutes, but then you have to go back to your bed. And she's like, oh, okay. And I don't think she physically could have gotten any closer to David than she was. She wanted very specifically to lay with him. So I'm like, okay, whatever. A couple minutes pass by. And I carried her back to bed. I was like, it's time to go back to bed. And she's like, okay. So I carried her back, and she asked for our dog, Charlie, to stay in her bed with her. She wanted to lay with Charlie. She's like, can you tell Charlie, come here, Charlie, come here. Now that's where things started getting weird, because Charlie does not sit still. Charlie is Hammy the squirrel from over the head. She is on crack 90% of the time, just bouncing off of walls every hour of the flipping day. So Mina does not.
I mean, she's a puppy and she's a herding breed.
Yeah. So Mina.
Yeah, high energy.
Yeah, Mina really does not like laying with Charlie, because for obvious reasons. She does not sit still. So for her asking for Charlie to stay in her room with her, not just in her room, but on her bed. She wanted her to lay in bed with her. That was very strange, but I'm like, okay, whatever. Didn't think anything of it at the time.
And threaded my needle.
But then I get back into my room and I laid back down on my bed, put my headphones back on, and these aren't like earbuds. These are big, ginormous, noise-canceling headphones. Put my headphones back on. And I could see Charlie from the corner of my eye come back into the room. And I mean, she was perked, ears up, her tail was dead straight, because usually her little nub's usually wagging, but it was dead straight. And she's like stalking position, walking into my room. So I'm like, the fuck? And then I heard David having a nightmare, or doing something. I thought he was just getting up to go potty. So I lifted one of my headphones off of my ear, and he was actually having a nightmare that Charlie alerted to.
Welcome, Sally.
And once I was able to get David to fully wake up, Mina came back into the room. And she...
So let's pause for a second to note that David is a vet with PTSD.
Yes. He's, Army veteran. He's got PTSD. He's got some sort of sleep disorder, because he also sleepwalks and sleep talks. So night terrors for him and PTSD episodes in his sleep are not uncommon.
Right.
So that was nothing new. Having to wake him up from a nightmare, that was not new. But then Mina came back into the room at the same time that Charlie was alerting. And Charlie is not a trained dog. She has no, what's it called? She has no service animal training. She has no emotional support training. It's just her instinct. She came in alerting. Mina came in not even a minute after her. And she refused to talk to David. She would not touch him. Like, I was trying to get her to like pat his arm or something, and she was pulling back hard enough that she almost elbowed me in the face. She was pulling back, and she's like, no. And I was like, well, ask Dad if he's okay. And she's like, no, I don't want to. And it's like, what? Hold on. And that's when stuff started getting really weird, because it took her a solid probably 5 minutes to even, like, she was staring at him, but she refused to talk to him or do anything. And it's like, what the fuck is going on?
Hey, and just to kind of catch you up, we're doing Sam has had some weird experiences at her house paranormally, so we're just kind of,
or however you want to put it, I don't know, but
however you want to put that.
To kind of set the mood on my toddler, though, is that probably from day one, I'd go as far back as to say that this was happening since she was an infant. She has been very, I don't know, in tune.
I would say in tune.
She's been telling us stories for as long as she could talk about these people or these objects or these animals that she would see in her room. And it started at our old house, and she's like, oh, there's a puppy in my room and it's scary. And I'm like sitting there thinking, we had 2 dogs at the time. I was like, oh, it's just Tank. Oh, it's just Arrow. And she's like, no, it's a black dog. We did not have a black dog. And then it was a black dog that was covered in dirt and mud and blood. And we're like, the fuck? She does not watch scary stuff. we don't let her sit down and watch like ghosty stuff or anything with us. So that was either pure imagination or she was legitimately seeing something. So that's when we first kind of opened our eyes to, and every day.
She was what, 3 when she started seeing the puppy?
I want to say, yeah, 2.5, 3, somewhere around there. But it didn't stop. You know, one instance is easy to ignore, and it didn't stop because as soon as we moved into the new house, the very first day that we moved in, like we hadn't even unpacked. We didn't have a bed to sleep on. We didn't even have the couch in the house yet. We were first day in the new house. And she told us that there was a bunny in her closet. And I'm sitting there thinking, you know, there's going to be some stuffed rabbit or something, you know, there's going to be something goofy and silly in her closet. I'm going to open it up and it's going to be like a little stuffed animal or a sticker on the wall or something. No, this little toddler, she opens up the closet and looks up. I'm looking at the floor. She looks up. I'm like, And I myself have kind of gotten that sense, and I've learned there's a name for that, and I'll get into it in just a second because I have to re-look up what it's called. But I always kind of get those eerie feelings. And when the second she opened that closet, I got that eerie feeling, and then damn near pissed myself when she looked up, because what she had started to describe was about, I would guess, 6.5 foot man wearing a bunny head. Like if you imagine like a costume, like a fuzzy, furry costume, that's what she was describing. And yeah, try going to bed in a new house with that lurking over you. But it got more and more after that. We had the bunny man, we had the pig man, which I don't know if that was the same person. Maybe the bunny man and the pig man were the same entity. They just changed animal heads to keep you on your toes. We've had the octopus in the bubble that lives outside her window because she hears scratching on her window. Now, we live out in the middle of nowhere, so it's like, okay, raccoons, but the raccoons can't get to the window. The cats can't get to the window because it's the porch side window. So there's not even trees. There's no wires hanging. There's nothing, but somehow she's hearing scratching specifically on this window. So when that whole thing happened that night, that was the first, I was like, nope, no, we are not ignoring that. Must have had seances. I'm one of those people, just saying, who had seances in my house. But what I was saying is that there's 2 things that I learned just in the last week that if Sophie doesn't already know, might actually be interested in considering. I'm not super into astrology. It was just never something that really clicked with me. I don't think you get to blame your attitude problems on the position of the stars. I'm not super into astrology. But open portals, yep. You can ask my husband. That was the first thing I said is, I bet you anything there's a portal in her closet. Because that's one of the things that I've always been able to kind of feel. But where was I?
Astrology.
I found out that Pisces are the single most susceptible to psychic mediumship. And I don't know why that is, but even after I kind of researched and looked into it more, 90% of the people are saying that Pisces are the most likely to become full-blown mediums, and they are the most sensitive to paranormal and supernatural. Yeah, take a wild smack at what side my daughter is. Doesn't help that she's a toddler. Kids are also more susceptible and sensitive to that kind of stuff, so she's got double whammy. But it's Claire, it's one of the so there's 5 different senses for psychic mediums. There's the most common one is clairvoyance, where you see things, where you're able to see things from across the veil, however you want to put that, is clairvoyance. I have that, and I have since I was a kid. My mom can confirm.
Runs in the family, unfortunately. Well, I don't know if it's unfortunate, but
yeah, one of the first other ones that I learned about that I didn't know how to name was clairaudience, because I thought it fell into clairvoyance. They're separate things. I have clairaudience, which is being able to hear spirits or whatever you want to call them without an external device. So I can hear them talking even if I don't have a spirit box or an EVP or not EVP. Yes, an EVP recorder. I can hear them.
I wonder if
And
that's
again,
why you can also hear like electricity.
yeah. So, and again, that's something that you can confirm, because I have been telling you since childhood that I've been hearing this shit.
Yep. Hi, Stephanie.
But then there's three other ones that I learned about that I did not know had names, and I did not even know were a thing. And the one is clarifactoral. I spelled that wrong when I told you about it the other day. And it has another name. I just don't remember what it is. But it's smell. It's ghost smells.
The olfactory system.
Yeah. And I didn't know that was a thing, because there is times, and they're usually in collaboration with something else that's going on spiritually, but then I will panic because there's this scent so strong of smoke that I'm convinced there's something burning in my house. The one that Willow just said, taste, is the one that I learned about last night that I did not know was a thing, because I get that too. Not nearly as often. I very, very rarely get the taste, but it does happen. And then the fifth one, I don't remember what that one's called either. And then the fifth one is clairsentience. And it's the ability to feel supernatural and paranormal activity. So being able to walk in a room and feel a presence and feel a portal and feel, ooh, something in here's mad. Oh, something in here's really happy. This is a really light vibe. That's clairsentience, which I also get that I didn't fucking know. It's the gut feeling is how they describe the clairsentience. So I learned last night that I have all five senses to self-proclaim mediumship.
Excuse me. I think, being able to feel like when we were crafting that night, and all of a sudden both of us were like freezing. I had the heater on in my craft room, and all of a sudden Sam and I both were like, whoa. And it got like super, super cold. It was like, okay. And her and I both grabbed our phones because we have an app on our phone that we play with. We both acknowledge that, it's, it's a toy.
Take it with a grain of salt. Yeah.
But we both grabbed our phone, and it was like, okay, who's in the room with us? Because, and it was like instantaneous. Her and I both at the exact same time felt the temperature change in the room.
Yep.
But I think that clairsentience thing is probably also what I experienced that day at work.
Oh, I guarantee it. The computer, when it typed on the computer, or no, the name in the Zoom call, that one.
Oh God, I was having a really weird week at work. Like I kept getting this feeling like I was being watched. And over the course of the week, my maiden name appeared on the screen of a Zoom call for our local court. And I don't have a common name. I've never heard it appear in Washington ever. My printer kept randomly printing out a paper, and all it would put on the paper was the @ sign with PJ. And that was all it would print. And it would just think, and it would spit out like 15 pages with just @PJ. And I'm like, okay, I don't know anybody with those initials. What the heck is going on? And the culmination of that week, and I will say this started happening a couple months after one of my clients committed S, and I was really struggling to process that and still
Yes,
having to
that's
work
fine.
in the same environment. But I was
There's
sitting at my desk. It was lunchtime,
that too.
and all of a sudden I heard 12 I heard look at the clock. I heard clock, look at the clock. And I looked over at my clock and it said 12/19, which is the date that my dad died in 1984, 12/19/84. And as soon as I saw that, I got this overwhelming feeling. I mean, and it came from my gut, but it shot from my gut all the way up through my chest and out, like up into my throat, took my breath away. And I felt like I was going to pass out. And I was like, oh. So I like immediately grabbed my phone and called her. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, what the hell did I just experience? Because I know she's experienced that kind of stuff before.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think it was just it was my dad coming to support me while I was struggling.
Yes. Well, seeing you, I don't know how to word it where it doesn't sound like I'm blaming you. I'll respond to Willow. I would very much be interested in that.
Yeah.
One of the other things that I learned is that, and it's pretty common knowledge. It's one of those things that get pushed to the back of your mind, so you don't really think about it. Is that the lower your, or I guess the more heightened your mental health. So when you start getting into those like deep depressive states or even manic episodes, when your mental health is compromised, your supernatural boundaries are compromised. So like if you get into a super depressive state, that's when the spirits are going to try to come along and fuck with you or talk with you, or because your walls are down essentially.
I mean, I could see that, and I would imagine, good and bad.
Yeah,
Take advantage
absolutely.
of that.
One of the things that my husband finds weird. Um,
Sorry, there's an inside joke to that.
Yep, there
That was
absolutely is.
that was an interesting slip.
But he always gives me like that, the sigh, because I know that there's at least three people that three entities that hang around with me, but there's one who is absolutely consistent, and he came from you, or he is attached from you, or however you want to put that. Because literally there will be some weird shit going on or whatever, and the first thing that comes out of my mouth, like a compulsion, like it's second nature now, don't even think about it, is to turn around and go, "Hi, Michael."
Michael?
Yes, my Minnie is in here too. She's listening.
Michael? That was cute.
And if it's not Michael, it's John. But your dad and your brother hang around all the time. I feel them all the time. I'm pretty sure your dad is the one that gives me the smoky smell.
Probably. He was a smoker.
Because it's like full on right up in my nose. I swear to God, my house is burning smoke. I
get pipe. I get pipe smells, and I don't know who that is. But yeah, Michael is my brother who died when I was 7. So, and my dad died when I was 13. So obviously none of my children have ever met them, and yet, when you drew that picture, that was what?
Yep.
10 years ago?
Yeah. That, and I remember your dad was the one that told me about your car accident. Because I'd never seen the dude, but when I described it, you're like, yep, I remember that too.
Yep. So yeah, we definitely know that they are present. And I think my dad and my brother probably banded together with all of their friends up there to protect me the day of my accident, because that is not one that I should have. Not only should I not have survived it, but I definitely should not have walked away.
Oh,
At
absolutely.
very least, I should not have walked away as unharmed as I did.
Okay. But yeah, it doesn't seem that far-fetched, to say the least, that Minnie was given the gift.
Right.
It was not your time, exactly. Okay.
Yeah, I buried my car up to my windshield underneath the FedEx box truck doing 75 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And I cracked 2 ribs, and that was it.
That was also the first time I ever wanted to punch my dad in the face. You can't text me.
You're not the only one.
That was fucked. So when she got in her accident, her phone and her computer both were broken in the accident. So my dad just texted out this picture of her crashed car. And I mean, when you just see the picture, there is no way. Like, no, is she in the hospital? I called or texted him, was like, is she okay? Is she in the hospital? She's got to be in the hospital. Tell me what hospital she's in. I'm calling her phone, not knowing that it was broken. I'm calling her phone. She's not answering. So I'm panicking. So I called my dad's phone about 30 times, like, is she in the hospital? Is she okay? What's broken? Is she okay? Is she alive? And he's like, oh, she's fine. You motherfucker.
Well, and unfortunately, what happened was he sent the picture, and then we went into a dead zone, so he had no signal. So he was trying to do a follow-up text, but it wouldn't send because we were in a dead zone.
Like, you cannot. Not cool.
Yeah, when we finally got back to where there was a signal, there was a lot of people that were.
But even that, looking back, even that, I'm sitting there and I was like, somebody told me. And it wasn't like the Black Jetta, because the Black Jetta crash, your dad straight up told me the highway, all the way down to the highway that you were going to crash on. But he said, the car's going to crash, but she's going to be okay.
I just needed to pee really, really bad.
And then, but the Silver Jetta crash was completely different because it wasn't somebody telling me necessarily. It was just, I keep my phone on silent. The only thing, let me restart that sentence. The only sound on my phone is my alarms. Every other sound is turned off all of the time. It bugs the shit out of me. So I keep the sounds off. But something that morning was like, I mean, I could physically hear it in my ear. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. And that happens a lot. So again, didn't think of it. But when I wake up, the first thing I do is check my phone to see what time it is. And that's when I saw the text. So it wasn't somebody telling me that you had got into an accident, but there was definitely something there telling me to look at my phone in that moment. Oh, welcome back, Bubby.
Hi, Bubby.
You want to say hi to Grandma?
Nah.
She's coloring.
She's like, not if I can't see her.
Yeah. And then I woke up this morning. I don't think this one's... I actually need to check my blood sugar. I don't think this one's supernatural, but
Well, if you've already eaten, there's no point in checking it. Well, there is a little bit of a point if you've already eaten, but
I have not eaten since last night. So I am on a, 10, 12-hour fast. No, longer than that. I would say about 14, 15-hour fast. But I woke up this morning.
No coffee yet?
No coffee yet. Woke up this morning just full body numb. Like tired, numb. Bless you. And shaky, like vibrating. But I was noticing even when after my alarm had gone off to wake up Emma for school, I kind of laid back down and I had my sleep mask thing on. But I could see light through it because I lay with my face towards the window and it was light outside. So I could see light through my face mask, but it looked like it was vibrating. If you imagine looking at a light through a fan, how it just kind of goes, you know what I'm talking about? That's what my looked like. You have crazy hair right now, kiddo. Look at you.
When doesn't that girl have crazy hair?
Hey!
Hey!
Mom,
What?
She always has crazy hair.
Daddy and Mom's our family too. Two families.
Grandma's your family and Daddy and Mom are your family too?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's good to hear.
Yeah, good to hear.
Hey!
Hey!
I think she gets embarrassed.
I gotta get past all these wedding pictures on my Facebook.
Oh, pretty married.
Yeah, some weirdos got all these. I got all these wedding pictures on my
Look, Mom.
Facebook from when some weirdo got married in my yard.
Oh yeah, definitely a weirdo. See, Grandpa was there for that one too. I know it.
Mom.
I feel it.
Well, he's in my avatar.
Mm-hmm.
That was her wedding bouquet, and the Woodstock was my dad's from when he was a child. Now I know the car pictures are on. Wow, picture of Dizzy. You on a horsey?
I remember that.
I passed all my Benny pictures. Is there a more button? Because I know that the pictures of my car are on my Facebook. My dragons. Oh, Vegas.
Okay, so while you're looking, something that me and my mom had talked about I called her after her live. We were talking about you, Sophie, just because she was telling me about your upcoming live. So I promise we weren't talking smack. We're not those people. Burn. That's not what I meant. I just realized how ironic that statement was. Train of thought. Hold on. We were talking about your life and, what we think your life is going to be like and blah, 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 blah. Are you planning on doing like paranormal investigative type stuff, or are you just talking about it, or what? Obviously you don't have to give me like details, but is it an investigative type thing, or is it just like a chit-chatty type thing?
Wedding pictures. And anybody else wants to come up on panel, they can click the link. I'm cool with it.
I'm just crocheting, so.
I'm still scrolling through stinking pictures. Holy moly. Oh, there's your brother's wedding.
Getting closer.
The Washington wedding, not the Idaho wedding. Oh, Minnie Moo when she was a baby.
No.
She looking at baby Minnie.
Telling you, I'm scrolling through a ton of.
Mom,
the year of the baby horses.
Mm-hmm.
Again. Mom, look at the ball.
Taking a trip down memory lane right now.
Mom,
Baby shower picture.
Okay. I can't look at you every second. I'm doing this, okay?
Yes, you can, Mom.
You can talk to Grandma. She's right there.
I know, I'm trying to talk.
I know. Many moose.
If you're going to talk, you have to actually talk. She can't just see you elbowing me.
The inflatable 5K. Am I missing anything in the chat while I'm scrolling through my Facebook?
Not yet.
Okay.
Thanks, Sophie. Left us.
Not doing much stitching. Sorry. Got distracted.
Grandma!
What?
It's pretty quiet now, but I can't see how many people are in the chat anymore because I opened up StreamYard, so.
Holy moly, there's Okay, I'll just grab pictures later because I got to scroll through Facebook forever. Because it was in 2015 when I wrecked my car. So it's going to take some scrolling to find it.
Are you actually going to talk to her, or are you just going to stand there being weird? Oh, Willow's still here.
I'm going to stand there and be weird. It's what I do.
What?
On the tablet.
Want your tablet? I thought you wanted to talk to Grandma.
A tablet?
She can't see you nodding, bub.
Oh, that concept's not quite there yet.
Yep, I'm definitely going to be watching those. Sophie, have you heard of the Estes method?
Oh, you figured out what it was called.
I did. Because when I first learned about it, I shit you not, it was 3 o'clock in the morning, and it comes out of my mouth. I bet Sophie would be interested in that. Like, oh, I finally, because I talked to my mom about like paranormal stuff, but I have yet to meet somebody or be in contact with somebody even who is like super into the investigative type stuff like I am. Paranormal in general, yeah. So yeah, when I learn new paranormal things, you're the first person that pops into my mind now. October is spooky season. It's my one free pass to be the spooky bitch that I am, without people judging me. So I go all out.
Oh, Willow used to do investigations as well. Cool.
Look, I found my niche.
You found your tribe on my channel. No fair.
That's okay. We can all be spooky bitches together. I just noticed that little turd bucket took her tablet and ran. I didn't even say yes yet.
Oh, ha, 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 ha. She's taking advantage of Mom being distracted.
Yep. That's okay. I just noticed I have to go get my shoes on because I'm going to have to go pick up my other kid here in a few minutes.
Oh, whoops. So can you explain the Estes method?
Oh, yeah. Okay, so the Estes method is how do I put it? A sensory deprived spirit box session. I guess that's the easiest way to put it. So you hook noise canceling headphones up to a spirit box while blindfolded. So you're sensory deprived and you turn the volume up enough that whoever's in the room with you, physical human being is in the room with you, you shouldn't be able to hear them talking because they will be asking questions. That way, when the spirit box answers, they're completely unbiased. And it's so cool to watch. So yeah, there's, a minimum of 2 people. One person is under the sensory deprivation, just repeating whatever the spirit box says while the other person is asking questions. And then when you're done, because you don't want to do it for too long, when you're done, you'd be able to see intelligent responses that weren't influenced by the human mind, basically. Oh, it got me all excited just talking about it. I love spooky shit.
So you said that it was cool to watch. So I'm guessing that there's some videos out there.
I have been binging the ever-loving shit out of Sam and Colby on YouTube.
That's what you tried to get me to watch last night.
Well, jokingly, yes. I don't think they're quite your cup of tea, but if you're
I'm like, nobody's online. I'm bored.
for the people who are into paranormal investigations and whatever, because I'm sorry, I know there was a whole conversation about it, but I find Ghost Adventures, that's a comedy show to me. But I've been binging Sam and Colby.
Woo! I just almost knocked my Pepsi over.
And
That
they-
would be my ad, because it's in its can instead of its spill-proof cup.
Okay.
Because my spill-proof cup had Jack Daniels in it last night, so I need to wash it before I can use it again.
I'm just trying to get what is passable as being dressed.
Oh, no way. That's the best way to pick your kids up from school. What are you talking about?
I still look like the weird Wiccan mom of freaking Elm Street over here, so.
So I did talk to your sister-in-law about doing a panel to come on and talk about Wiccan stuff. And potentially getting Catherine involved as well.
Oh, I would love that. I haven't talked to her since fair.
Since, but I think Anthony would probably be the best connection there, since apparently they still talk.
Yeah.
And your sister-in-law was like, just remember, there's a difference between Wiccan and pagan.
Absolutely.
And I'm like, well, that's why I want to do. That's
So
why
is
I want to do a
Catherine
panel like that. Is so, but I don't know.
Is Catherine pagan or is she Wiccan?
I'm not sure. That's what I was just going to say. I'm not sure.
Oh, gotcha.
I'm not sure with Catherine.
Because Amy's Wiccan.
Yes.
So I'm not sure. Maybe she said that because Catherine's pagan. I don't know.
Maybe. I didn't really get the impression that Stephen follows her.
Did that whenever I investigated. Nice.
Because I mentioned that while we were up in Leavenworth, and your brother's response was, well, that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
So I don't know that they talk as much as Anthony does with her.
Yeah.
So Sophie, you did the sensory deprivation stuff?
Yeah, I'm going to send you a picture of exactly what I mean.
You're going to send me a picture? I've gotten to a point where I've had to glue pieces of the pattern. So this is actually 4 pieces of paper all glued together. It's not quite as not quite as manageable as it was before. It's kind of driving me crazy a little bit, and I keep getting lost.
There you go. I sent you a video on Facebook because I was saying something like, "Oh, I'm still that spooky bitch." So with Emma being glitter and rainbows, it doesn't surprise me why she's awkward with me picking her up. But me and that child are polar opposites.
Well, I think that's part of why you guys butt heads as much as you do, in my honest opinion.
Well, we both got our own contradicting traumas, and it's a fucking mess.
And eclectic. Okay. Well, Willow, you're gonna need to. What? I know what eclectic is. I know what solitary means, but I don't know what that means all as a
Single
title.
Single phrase.
Yeah. I definitely think, Willow, that once I get this all figured out, when we can do a time, I would definitely like to have you up on panel as well. she dropped out. Gotta go drive. She's got to do that mommy thing, you know. I'm very grateful that Sam and Jay have been able to come together and co-parent for the sake of their mutual child. Yes. Sam became a stepmom to a 4-year-old not too long after she became a mom herself. So, learning curve for sure. But the two moms have been able to come together to co-parent, and I tell them all the time it's a beautiful thing that, you know, the three parents are able to work together. Don't follow a religion. Have studied multiple religions. I found follow my own path and use different types of witchcraft and traditions. Okay. Eclectic, solitary. See? And when I saw it, eclectic, solitary, that was what came to my mind because I know what eclectic means and I know what solitary means. I was like, So yeah, my daughter-in-law identifies herself as a chaos witch, which I'm not exactly sure. Dropped your phone. Hopefully not in the toity. I'm not exactly sure what that means. I've never really had an in-depth conversation with her about it. Primarily because we are usually around my husband, who, even though he's never said anything about it, you can see his body language change when the subject comes up. So I can tell that he doesn't feel comfortable having that talk around him. So I've never really had a chance to really talk to her about what all of that means. But without even knowing that, when I made her her book, her journal, which again, I didn't even think to ask her while I was with her this last weekend if she started using it yet. I made it to be like her grimoire, or, you know, a book of spells, however she wanted to use it. But it was all kinds of different paper sizes and textures, and, you know, just crazy stuff. And she was like, "Oh, it's perfect. It's chaotic, just like me." So yeah, I mean, I think that's one of the big reasons why I do want her on that panel, so that I have that opportunity to, you know, have a conversation with her, you know, and others about what that really is and what it means. The difficult part is that she gets off work at 5. I mean, she gets up for work at 5 a.m. And so in order to do it, I would really have to, figuring out a time is going to be challenging. And I think that's where the biggest challenge will be in getting that set up. Yeah, renegade Wiccan. You, girl, have been a renegade since you were conceived. So it definitely fits you in more ways than just your beliefs. Orion goddess. Huh. Good question. See, and I'm fascinated by all this. I'm not. I believe in God. I don't believe in organized religion. Because my stance on that is if there's supposed to be one true religion, how come everybody's saying something different? And I also found so much judgment and hypocrisy within churches that is obviously a direct violation of what the Bible says how you're supposed to treat people. So I really kind of struggled with that for a long time, and then just said, you know what, this is not for me. So kind of like you guys are saying, I follow my own path. But it has fascinated me in the just in the way things have turned out, because with my 3 children, one is a Wiccan married to a Catholic, one is an atheist married to a Wiccan, and my other is agnostic married to a Mormon. So when we all get together, it's super crazy. Yeah, you don't follow norms. You never have. I said, not even from the moment you were conceived, nothing was normal. Yeah. And I think that's wise too, is to, like you're saying, Willow, is studying a bunch of other faiths, and really just kind of, I guess, like you're saying, going on your own path, finding your own tribe, as Sophie says. Oh yeah, I could fold my paper at least back in half again so I can see it. These blind old eyes are struggling hard. I've lost my pencil. Pencil. Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. It rolled way away. One of the biggest selling points for me in Christianity, when I started questioning things, I was damned and told that that's not good. You shouldn't question. You shouldn't do this or you shouldn't do that. Yeah, the tribe finds you. Blind faith. Yeah. Yeah. That pretty much, I mean, kind of, sort of, in a nutshell, sums up my thoughts and feelings about organized religion. I said, I believe in God. I believe in the Bible to a degree, but I do acknowledge that the Bible was written by man, and I do question. I question. And that's, I think, Sam, that's where you and I both kind of ended up in the same place, but for different experiences, or from different experiences. Is that I was never told that I shouldn't question, but the more I questioned, the more uncomfortable I became. That makes sense. Yeah, exactly. Well, and they don't judge, period. No. They don't judge your sins. They don't judge the clothes you're wearing when you walk through the door. They don't judge who your spouse is. They don't judge your daily. They don't judge. No. What you talking about? Yeah, feeling comfortable. Willow's the start of your tribe. I love it. Yeah. Well, and I will say, while I was checking out different religions, some more than others. I agree with that, Willow. That's all about changing you, and making you indoctrinating indoctrinating you. um I definitely found some to be way more pushy than others, which only just made me trust them even less, to be honest. I got so tired of hearing they put the plainness back into things. Oh, Sharky found my needle, Sam. Look. Camera, where are you? Woo-hoo. Where's your front of my phone? There's what's left of it. It was stuck in the carpet. I'm hoping the rest of the needle is under the carpet and not in my... I don't hear it rolling around in my shark. So green thread, it must have been your sparkly journal. Hey, shark, you don't have feet that need massaged. Please stay off my massage mat. No, you don't have feet. Yeah, it's so funny. It's like the more when I catch myself talking to my vacuum cleaner and stuff like that, it definitely makes me it just makes me think of another creator who's constantly talking to inanimate objects, as if they can understand her. Yeah, and there isn't at the time, there wasn't a big Muslim community here. Um, so I did a little bit of research on my own, like, with Google and stuff. And I do like a lot of the a lot of their messages. I have several inspirational books that have like quotes and stuff that are written by like Buddhists and Muslims, and just life quotes. And I used to use it all the time with my clients. I would write a quote. There was a quote every day up on the board, and that was the opening topic. What does that mean to you? What do you think they're trying to say? Yeah, I must have stuck. I'm like, found my needle. I didn't lose this one. Yeah, I'm not hearing it clunking around in the shark, so it must be the other half must be under the carpet. I was giving her a hard time yesterday. I'm like, I think it was during the live actually. I was like, what did you do with my needle? You were the last one that had it. What did you do with it? Well, and that, yeah, that is the belief of, most organized religions, is that, any kind of spiritual, whatever is the work of the devil. But don't Pentecostals speak in tongues? Pretty sure that was what my when I went to a memorial service. That was a hell of an experience. Sitting and all of a sudden people start talking in tongues. I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure it was a Pentecostal. Definitely don't want to get into into too much religion talk, because it's very polarizing. Although it seems like this is the tribe for that conversation currently. Oh, my Facebook's yelling at me. Some person messaged me on Facebook. Oh, there's volume to that. I'll have to watch it later. Are you trying to show me that showing me your earrings, it looks like, maybe? And I think honestly that Willow right there kind of speaks it speaks a lot to, what am I trying to say? To the difference between tolerance and acceptance. Because I've experienced that on the opposite side, where I was speaking my truth and my truth was not accepted and it was challenged. even though I listened to their truth respectfully and didn't argue, um, and I in my limited experience with people that follow religions outside of the mainstream Christianity, that seems to be it seems that other religions teach tolerance a little bit more frequently, consistently. I don't know what word I'm looking for there, than mainstream Christianity. Saved a seat for you. Sorry, I missed that comment up there. Well, and that's what I'm saying, sis, is that there seems to be a higher level of um, respect and acceptance of others in those alternative religions, at least in my experience. Yeah. So that's a little lighter topic. You said you were crocheting. What are you crocheting today, sis? Are you still just messing around, or did you get a commission? I have a knot. My thread is tied together right there. I can't get it out. It's driving me a little crazy because every time I go through the cloth, the knot gets hung up. It's kind of irritating me. It's funny. I was looking something up online earlier because I kept getting an error message on my TENS unit. And who knows where the manual is for that, like long gone. Um, and so I was online trying to figure out what the error message meant and stumbled onto um, this other website that has products that it says anyway that you can use it with any TENS device, which obviously I would be skeptical of that. So if I was to order it, I'd make sure that there's a money back guarantee, that kind of stuff. But they sell these, it's a full set. So there's gloves, there's socks, there's a pair of slides, there's a belt for the lower back. I think that was it. Gloves, socks, shoes, the belt, and then it came with some extra sticky pads. So it does have the same snap that mine does, so there's at least an inclination that it would work. But I'm also thinking, how does a sock work as a TENS device? Or a pair of gloves? How does that work as a TENS device? Like, are there wires all the way through it that squeeze it? And I'm like, So now I'm intrigued. Making glovelets. Yeah, if the TENS gloves work, I would totally wear them because, if it can help my hands not hurt so much. But again, my TENS unit, I mean, this is the length. I've got, 3, 6, maybe 9 inches in between, 10 inches possibly. So obviously I couldn't walk if I was wearing the slippers or the socks. And, I wouldn't be able to do anything with my hands because I'd kind of like be handcuffed. I could have told you what it was. I get notifications of, people you might know. Oh, that knot is driving me bananas. Well, unless you guys want to keep chit-chatting, I think I'm going to go ahead and end the stream. I didn't get quite as much done today as I was expecting, but that's because there are some things I can multitask on. This is not one of them. I do have a hard time cross-stitching and talking at the same time, in case you haven't noticed. But I will be working on this. Definitely, for throughout today. And I'm not sure about the weekend because my weekend, my weekend is unsure right now. So yeah, it's a nice little gazebo there. Flower bush. I'll bend it back a little bit. Try not to bust my hoop. Yeah, it's coming along. I need to get in and read some of YouTube's TOS because I'm trying to decide what to do with all of my cross stitch that I've done before that are just sitting up in the box up there, that I showed it when I first started the channel. Can I do? Yeah, I don't know. I see what the TOS says about raffles and auctions and giveaways and that kind of stuff. Don't want to get myself in trouble. I'm still, especially while I'm still new. I'm like, oh yeah, been up less than 3 months and you already got your first strike. Ding, ding, ding. But yeah, I mean, just so, because I have all the journals that I'll be making on the lives and the cross stitch projects, that at the end of the day are just going to kind of hang out at my house and collect dust. So if I can figure out how TOS, if YouTube will allow some sort of something with them. But all right, so tomorrow is Physiology Friday, or Physio Friday, as I've started shortening it in my mind. Tomorrow, so I'll be talking about chronic fatigue syndrome, kind of a blanket diagnosis. Some people consider it a quote unquote crap diagnosis. So yeah, we'll talk about it, how I experience it, how it affects me and my life. And if, anybody that comes in, if you experience it as well, you are welcome to come up on panel. Let's have a conversation. So everybody have a good day. Find something peaceful to do with your time. And hopefully I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Peace. Hit the like on your way out if you didn't do it on the way in. Thanks a bunch.